All right, all right. Welcome back to another episode of Investment Realtors Podcast, Go To Realtors Podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Lewis,
Lewis here, Justin.
Justin. Lewis.
Okay, just making sure. All right, all the names and niceties are out of the way.
Yes, that is correct.
Can we get back to work?
back to business?
Okay.
Back to basics.
So-
Okay.
So, what do you want to say today, Justin?
Well, so after our last video, influx of questions, comments in the email, honestly, very, very kind of humbling and just really rewarding. And thank you so much to all of our subscribers.
Thank you very much, guys.
I guess you guys really liked the last video of the Q&A, so we're going to kind of do something similar. So one of the questions that our longtime subscriber had wrote to us was how we're finding the market in this August.
Mhm.
Now, I guess that's to kind of differentiate from the typical market kind of highs and lows where, spring market's usually busy, summer tapers off, fall market's busy, so on and so forth. So I guess what they really wanted to know is our August that we're experiencing now typical of what we see in our other years' trends, or what we're seeing that's a bit different?
And that's a good question because
Yes.
usually, as we always say, August is, July and August
Yeah.
usually are very down months for the real estate market. In the past, I think with just everybody going on vacation, I mean, it is summer in Canada. People like to go to their cottages. People like to go out of the country or
Yes.
whatever, or just up north. So they're not really in the real estate market.
No routine.
No routine.
Just
So
free in it.
so usually it's pretty dead anyways. This year is a little bit more dead than other August, I would say. According
Yeah.
to the stats here, it says pretty much from last year, the stats say
Oh, yeah, I'm pulling those up with you. Oh, yeah.
all listings are pretty much down at least 10% from last year alone. And last year was still kind of low last August.
Yeah.
So, I mean-
it kind of takes us back to that whole COVID anomaly and what's happened with the interest rates, what's happened with inflation. Wages just aren't, on par, on pace with how expensive everything's becoming. We're at $1, I think 70 something a liter in gas.
It's actually going up.
Yeah. So we were reading something online where generally it usually goes up in the summer, but this year it's expected to go up in September to hit like $2 a liter and stay there for the winter.
Which is a lot. That's a lot of money.
Well, and that's great when, majority of our houses are furnaces that are running on natural gas.
Yep, that helps.
That definitely helps.
Everybody has to commute
Yeah.
at least an hour because you can't live in the city you work in.
No.
Because it's too expensive.
And another
That's another
article,
thing.
yeah, and the other article we were reading where a lot of people that have the option to do a hybrid say that they choose to stay home just so they don't have to fill up more than once a week. I mean, when we start going down the rabbit hole of you have to kind of pick and choose when you're driving your vehicle, which isn't, yeah, you can argue it's a luxury, but for a lot of us, it's a necessity. How would we get to these areas?
We have to show people houses physically.
Yeah, not
Like
to
in
mention
person.
you need to get to where you're going job-wise. So that's great. You could take the public transit. But in areas like ours where we're a little bit north of the city,
We got nothing.
nothing. So if you want to go anywhere, north, south, east, west,
You got to drive.
you need a vehicle or you need some form of rideshare. You need something besides public transit that isn't available to us.
Yeah.
Um,
And everybody has different shifts and different jobs. It's like
Yeah.
you got to be on the road when you got to be on the road. Sometimes you got to pick up your kids. When you have
Mhm.
soccer practice. Sometimes you have other commitments, right? It's a car world out there. And
Absolutely.
we're living in it.
Absolutely. So I guess it was a kind of a two-way question where they asked us what we're seeing in August, and then they've also asked us, with September looming around the corner, do we think that they're going to raise the interest rate on the next Bank of Canada announcement?
Yes.
So
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think everything is going up. I think inflation in general is going up in Canada, is
Yeah.
what we're seeing. Gas is going up. That's
Okay.
part of inflation. All food prices. I don't know. We do our own shopping around here.
Yeah.
Every day I go, every month that goes by, prices go up. Same food.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been seeing in packages where they'll take away slots in like a cookie container or a gum container.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
like
same.
it's like a dummy or
It's
like
a dummy
dead-
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. so the price is going up. The products in the product is going down.
Yep.
Right. Everybody sees it. Everybody notices. Everybody talks about it.
Mhm.
There's nothing we could do about it. We're kind of just stuck.
We call that shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation. Right. Is it time to buy an electric car?
Well, so my kind of thought process on that is right now the electrical grid can't even really sustain us. So what happens when now all of these electric cars are on the road? So will gas then go down, and then electricity is going to be what the new price of gas is?
That's a good question.
And I mean, we frequent a lot of local businesses here because we like to support local, and almost all the vendors we speak to from 5 years, just to give you an example, till now, all of their prices, whether it's goods, consumables, whatever it is, services, have all gone up. And when we start to dig deeper and talk to these, because we have a lot of relationships with the owners,
the local shawarma place, which we love.
and shout out Shawarma Box here in Bolton. Yeah. He tells us every week that he goes to pick up supplies, it keeps going up to the point where he tries not to raise his prices, but
he's stuck.
What happens? He was telling us the other day about sriracha, that there's a shortage on sriracha, and he was paying $70 a bottle. So I mean, it kind of really hits home to like, what the heck do we do, and where are we going as a society with these prices? It's only a matter of time before the other shoe drops. People are already overextended and over leveraged. Like what
are you going to do?
Exactly.
Well, for an example, like just to put a number to it, we used to eat, me and you would go get something to eat for lunch, and it was $22 for the both of us.
Yeah, and I was like,
30. It's hitting 30 now. Yeah, and we're getting the same amount of food, maybe a little less.
Yeah, sometimes less, and it's
right, different quality because they can't get the same product.
It's a compromise, which is ridiculous. It's not dark, guys. We're not trying to be gloom and doom, but it is something that, group your resources together with people you can, whether it's living with family, whether it's, cutting expenses on certain things that you're doing. I know obviously you need to have a certain quality of life, but with the stress of what's going on, I think the only way to help with that stress is cutting back on some things that I don't want to say aren't necessity, because everybody has, what's important to them and what's a necessity. But
priorities are going to have to change.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it,
which ultimately is just the quality of life is suffering, which, in a country like Canada is really scary to see.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a shame. We love our country.
Absolutely. There's no other place I'd want to live, no other place I'd want to be born. But from when we were kids, talking with one of our coworkers growing up, now. He said, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, everything was looking up. It was like, everybody was trying to help out everybody. Things were looking great for the future, where now it feels like the opposite. It feels like we've hit that high, and now everything is just down. Yeah, it's looking down. And that's, of course, we don't want to be pessimistic and be Debbie Downers, but we want to be able to kind of guide or give, as much insight as we can from what we're seeing working in the community, working with these different vendors, working with our coworkers. It's, what, guys, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And as cliche or cheesy as that may be, it really is. Find something you like, just stick with it, even a little hobby, something to just kind of get you through these tough times.
Yeah. Maybe a side gig, side hustle.
Well, and that's the other thing, talking to people, like, 40 hours doesn't cut it. 50, 60 hours don't even cut it. And, a lot of people have these side hustles because even having that full-time job that pays handsomely doesn't mean anything. You can't catch up. You can't get ahead.
Well, remember, the more you make in this country, to an extent, like if you're like a salaried worker making like 150 grand a year, that's a good wage. Mm-hmm. But don't forget, almost half of that is taxed.
Well, that's good.
Well, of course. It's really good. It helps you with your payments and your bills.
Free healthcare
and the stuff that you need, the roads, right?
Yeah, infrastructure.
So it's good, but it also takes away from the money you could spend on like your house or food or shelter, or other stuff. It's like you might it's not the right time to start your own business. But
is there ever a right time though? I mean, that's the whole other argument you get into, where it's like, waiting for the perfect scenario, the perfect circumstances, and then before you know it, life's passed you by. Yeah. So it's like
real estate. When it's a bad time to buy, it's a good time to sell, and vice versa. When it's a good time to sell, it's a bad time to buy.
So right? it's all in the wash, is what you're telling me. If you're selling a house and buying a house, you're laughing.
Yeah.
But that it's the first time buyers that kind of.
Well, first-time buyers, if you're buying $1 million house, right, and you have $200,000 of liquid cash on you, your mortgage is still $800,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And that's, what is that, like $8,000 a month on a mortgage?
How many people that have 200,000 just lying around ready to go?
Not only do I not know people with 200,000 liquid lying around, I don't know many people that clear 8,000 a month just for mortgage.
No,
and
not
then,
even combined families, like with two people
oh
working.
yeah, because the average income for a combined family is like 6,000 a month. It's like 3,000 each is like the average. I know obviously there are people out there that make a lot of money, and
Make a
people
lot,
that don't make,
yeah.
right? But the average is not 8,000 for $1 million house, and now every house you look at is almost $1 million in the GTA
Minimum. Before you would leave outside the GTA about an hour or so to get those deals. Now, all surrounding areas are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can start small or get like a little small, like either bungalow or townhouse, but it's still close to $1 million.
Absolutely,
right? They're in the sevens, eights.
Well, here in our trading area in Caledon, like in Bolton specifically, what townhomes we have? We have a couple freeholds. We have a few condo style townhomes, and I mean they're all just shy of $1 million.
Yeah, and if you find something for in the eights, they need big renos, like walls and like floors and asbestos, and
you're thinking 800. You're laughing. Meanwhile, it's like 800, and you still got to put your own sweat equity and more capital into it. So I mean, what our takeaway from that viewer's question is, if you are someone that's looking to sell come the fall market, there's a lot of preparation that needs to go into it, that you should already be reaching out to your realtors, reaching out to us, so we can get the ball rolling. And if you're a buyer, even with the interest rate increase that might happen in September, if you're in a position to buy now, buy now. We always say the same thing. It's time in the market. So we're hoping you could take away a few pieces of those nuggets, and it can help you in your day to day. And we definitely have a lot more questions
that need to be answered.
Keep
them coming, guys. Keep them coming. We love them. We love just hearing from like our fans. Yeah, because it gives us purpose to keep doing this. Yeah. So it's good.
Without you guys, there's no us. So thank you again. All the love, the support.
Yeah, what would we be doing this if you guys weren't around, right?
That's true.
That's how the world works.
That's it. The world goes round. All right, guys. So until the next one, we'll see you soon. All info on the bottom. Go to realtyservices@gmail.com.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you later, guys.
And comment.